Top focus at this hour is the agitating farmers at the Shambhu Border. Well, the agitating farmers have resumed their Delhi Chalo march at the Shambhu Border. Security has been tightened with 101 farmers from the Kisan Mazdoor Morcha and SKM groups heading towards the national capital. Police fired tear gas shells at the farmers in an attempt to halt the march. A verbal clash also erupted between the police and the protesting farmers at the border. Police argue that the farmers do not have any permission to march towards Delhi, while the farmers demand to see the letter granting permission to Haryana police to enter Punjab border. On Friday, several farmers were injured by tear gas shells at the border. Yesterday, the protesting farmers waited for a response from the centre regarding their demands, but no talks were initiated. The farmers are demanding a legal guarantee for the minimum support price, farm debt waiver, pension for farmers and farm labourers, no increase in electricity tariff, withdrawal of police cases against them, and justice for the victims of the 2021 Lakhimpur Kheri violence. Some reactions lined up. Let's have a look.
देखिए, जो हमारा 101 किसानों मजदूरों का जत्था बलदेव सिंह जीरा और अन्य 5 लीडरों की अगुवाई में वहां पहुंचा है। हमने लिस्ट पहले ही जारी कर दी मीडिया को। अगर उनका कुछ इस तरह का चेकिंग का करके आगे भेजने का कोई निर्णय है तो पहले हमें बता दें। हम तो खुद बोले थे भाई एक आदमी आएगा चेक कर लो, आगे जाने दो। अगर आपने करना कुछ भी नहीं है, ना जाने देना, तो फिर उसको चेक करना या कुछ करना ये तो उचित नहीं हमें लगता है। और जो देखिए कितना पीसफुली है, आपने देखा जो पिछला जत्था गया था उससे भी हम लोगों ने डिसिप्लिन अधिक दिखाया है, अनुशासन। तो हम इसी तरह अनुशासन से रहेंगे। किसान मजदूर जबर का कर रहे हैं, यही हमारा निर्णय है भी देश के किसान मजदूर के लिए किसी तरह के बलिदान के लिए हम लोग तैयार हैं।
और जहां तक बात है किसानों की और एमएसपी की और अलग अलग फसलों की, शिवराज चौहान जी ने पार्लियामेंट में बाकायदा बहुत ही तफसील और विस्तार से बताया है कि वो कितना सम्मान देते हैं और देते रहेंगे और कितना जरूरी और अहम है किसानों की की सेफ्टी, सुरक्षा और उनकी खुशहाली। और इसके लिए क्या कुछ कदम भी उठाए जा रहे हैं, इसका विस्तार में विवरण उन्होंने सबके सामने पेश किया है।
तो ये बहुत ही दुखद है, जहां हम एक तरफ कहते हैं कि हमारे देश की आबादी का 70% लोग वो खेती पर और किसानी पर मुनहसर करते हैं, उस पर आश्रित है और उन्हीं के चलते हम सब लोगों को भोजन प्राप्त होता है और वो अन्नदाता कहलाए जाते हैं। तो जो मोदी सरकार का जो रवैया है वो बहुत ही अफसोसनाक है। जो उनसे वादा किया गया था 1 साल पहले उसको भी पूरा नहीं किया गया। जो मिनिमम सपोर्ट प्राइस को कानूनन शक्ल देने की बात कही गई थी, एक तरह से वादा किया था सरकार ने, उस वादे को पूरा नहीं किया। तो ये जो किसानों के साथ जो छल हो रहा है, ये आने वाले समय में भारतीय जनता पार्टी को बहुत महंगा पड़ेगा।
एक बार फिर से जो आंसू गैस के गोले हैं वो देखिए ऊपर से फेंके गए हैं और जिसके बाद जो किसान हैं वो थोड़ा पीछे आए हैं। धुआं आप इस वक्त देख सकते हैं और ऊपर कुछ पुलिसकर्मी आपको दिखाई दे रहे होंगे, वो फायर करने की बजाय ऊपर से ही जो आंसू गैस के गोले हैं उनके पास वो वहाँ से नीचे फेंक देते हैं। जब थोड़ा सा माहौल बिगड़ने लगता है, जब आगे जो एक लोहे की जाली लगाकर पुलिसकर्मी खड़े हैं उस लोहे की जाली को किसान खींचने लगते हैं, तो इस तरह से ऊपर से आंसू गैस के गोले फेंक दिए जाते हैं। जिसके बाद थोड़ी देर के लिए किसान पीछे हटते हैं और उसके बाद फिर आगे चले जाते हैं। फिर पुलिस उन्हें समझाने का प्रयास करती है और इसी तरह से यहाँ पर काफ़ी देर से आमना सामना किसानों और पुलिसकर्मियों के बीच हो रहा है। लेकिन रहकर जो किसान हैं वो आगे बढ़ने की कोशिश करते हैं। तो इस वक्त आप देखिए, आपको धुआं यहाँ पर दिखाई दे रहा होगा, धुएं से उनकी हालत ख़राब हो रही है, लेकिन इसके बावजूद वो आगे डटे हुए हैं। और पुलिस ने साफ कर दिया है कि किसानों को आगे दिल्ली जाने की अनुमति नहीं है और किसी भी हाल में किसानों को दिल्ली नहीं जाने दिया जाएगा। इसके बावजूद किसान यहाँ पर लगातार शंभू बॉर्डर पर जो हरियाणा की सीमा है उस पर डटे हुए हैं और पुलिस के साथ लगातार उनका आमना सामना हो रहा है।
Moving on, the Karnataka BJP core committee has issued a notice to MLA Yatnal with discussions escalating to the high command level. Rejecting calls for B.Y. Vijendran's ousters as Karnataka BJP president, the party National General Secretary Radha Mohandas Agarwal said the leadership is not changed on the basis of someone's demand. Party workers emphasized the importance of deciding on leadership collectively with the focus on selecting leaders best suited for the current scenario. The committee said that at present, Vijendra is seen as the most suitable candidate and continues to serve as the party president. State officials reiterated that all discussions will be taken in due course. Well, up next in Maharashtra's political arena, Rahul Narvekar from the BJP is poised to reclaim his role as Assembly Speaker unopposed. Opposition parties under the Mahavikas Aghadi alliance have chosen not to file nomination for Monday's election, clearing Narvekar's path to the chair. Earlier today, Narvekar officially filed his nomination for the Speaker's post, a position he previously held in the last assembly. He was joined by prominent leaders including Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, Deputy Chief Minister Eknath Shinde and Ajit Pawar, and senior BJP figures like Chandrakant Patil and State BJP President Chandrakant Bakavle. The formal announcement of Narvekar's elections is expected on Monday, but the Speaker's election itself will take place on December 9th, setting the stage for the subsequent trust vote for the newly sworn in Mahayuti government led by Fadnavis. Interestingly, the opposition parties have sought to secure the Deputy Speaker's post as part of the broader negotiation. Leaders from the MVA have urged Chief Minister Fadnavis to adhere to Assembly's protocol and ensure fair representation by awarding the Deputy Speaker position to the member of the opposition alliance. The move signifies a strategic approach from the opposition, allowing a smooth election for the Speaker while leveraging the opportunity to negotiate for influential roles within the Assembly. The next few days will be crucial as Maharashtra prepares for the trust vote and finalizes its Assembly leadership under the reshuffled Mahayuti government. Well, on to the next story. Chief Justice of India Sanjeev Khanna has set up a 3-judge bench to decide on the contentious Places of Worship Act 1991. A 3-judge bench headed by CJI, also comprising Justice Sanjay Kumar and V.K. Vishwanathan, will be hearing a batch of petitions challenging the constitutional validity of the 1991 statute on 12th of December. The batch of petition includes petition from both Hindu and Muslim side. While the primary argument addresses by the Hindu side states that the act has taken away the power of the court and religious sects to restore their places of worship, and in fact, on the contrary, the Muslim side says that they have maintained that the present challenge seeks to indirectly target places of worship which are presently of Muslim character. The central government is yet to clear its stand on the issue of constitutional validity of the said act. My colleague Kabir Naqvi spoke to Supreme Court advocate Rajiv Nanda. Have a listen to it, please.
It certainly is going to be a very tough task for the Supreme Court, needless to say. I mean, given the news pieces that we're picking up these days and what happened with the Babri Masjid and the Ram Janmabhoomi in terms of exemption, the mandate, the sections of the act, it is going to be reintroduced and, retouched upon. Do you really think this is going to be an easy path for the Supreme Court?
Well, it is certainly not going to be an easy task for the Supreme Court because this 1991 Act, Places of Worship Act 1991, which was brought in July 1991, was brought in keeping in view the secular character of the Constitution of India. The preamble says secular, democratic, socialist Republic of India. So this is picking up the secular character of it. And a date was given, a date had to be given, that which date from onwards the religious structures will be protected. So that date was chosen as 15th of August 1947. Now I have my doubts whether this can be said to be an unconstitutional act, though the claim of the Hindu side is that this takes away their religious rights under 25 section, Article 25, 26, and all those, to reclaim the invaded and encroached places of worship of Hindus, which were taken away before the 1947 Act. So this virtually invades their right. But there is nothing inconstitutional as such which will require the court to interfere. Here the thing is that this is the domain of the executive, the legislative at the moment. They have to take the call, and because the central government has not yet filed their stand in the Supreme Court on this act. So, and presently the BJP is in the majority. They can, if they so wish to, bring in a new act, repealing this act, and everything will be all right. But I have my doubts that the Supreme Court will be in a position to declare it unconstitutional. I mean, to get it unconstitutional, it has to violate any of the articles of the Constitution. I don't think that it is violating any of the articles. It is the will which has to be brought in by the legislator.
Well, it's time for some news from the entertainment arena. The movie Pushpa 2, The Rule, is creating history, and not just in Telugu cinema, but also in the Indian film industry. Within just 3 days of its release, the film shattered all-time records. To celebrate this massive success, the Pushpa 2 team held a success press meet in Hyderabad. Commenting on the phenomenal success, Allu Arjun took the opportunity to thank the governments and the chief ministers of both Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Well, he thanked Revanth Reddy and Chandrababu Naidu for giving special price hikes in the tickets. He also announced that his team had provided 25 lakhs in financial aid to the women's family who died in the stampede.
The government of Telangana, especially the respected Chief Minister Revanth Reddy garu, thank you so much. Alage the cinematography minister Komatren Venkat Reddy garu, thank you very much Andy. Your support has been wonderful. Nizanga inta pedda film teesi meer film industry ki support nenu my entire team of Pushpa would like to heartfully thank each and every one of you. And alage I would like to సేమ్ ఇక్కడ ఎంత ప్రైసెస్ ఇచ్చారో దానికి ఏమాత్రం తక్కువ లేకుండా మన ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్లో కూడా మమ్మల్ని సపోర్ట్ చేసిన ఐ వుడ్ లైక్ టు థ్యాంక్ ద గవర్నమెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్. థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్, ఎస్పెషలీ ద రెస్పెక్టెడ్ చీఫ్ మినిస్టర్ శ్రీ నారా చంద్రబాబు నాయుడు గారు. థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్ సార్. యువర్ లవ్ అండ్ సపోర్ట్ హ్యాస్ ఆల్వేస్ బీన్ దేర్ ఫర్ ద ఫిల్మ్ ఇండస్ట్రీ. మీరు ఎప్పుడు ఫిల్మ్ ఇండస్ట్రీని చాలా స్పెషల్ ప్రయారిటీస్ ఇచ్చారు. థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్. నేను సభాముఖంగా మిమ్మల్ని అభినందిస్తున్నాను. అండ్ ఇవాళ ఈ స్పెషల్ జియో పాస్ అయ్యి ఈ స్పెషల్ ప్రైసెస్ వస్తానికి దానికి మెయిన్ కారణమైన డిప్యూటీ చీఫ్ మినిస్టర్ శ్రీ పవన్ కళ్యాణ్ గారికి మనస్ఫూర్తిగా Deputy Chief Minister Shri Pawan Kalyan Garke Manaspurtiga Sabhamukanga Abhinandistunanu. Thank you so much. And on a personal note, Kalyan Babai, thank you so much. Thank you. I am really touched by your gesture. Thank you.
Now on to some sports news. It's not a good news though coming in for the Indian cricket fans as Australia beats India in the second match of Border Gavaskar Trophy. In a commanding manner, the Aussies leveled the 5-match series at 1 each. Needing just 19 runs to win, Australia got the job done with 10 wickets in hand in Adelaide. Australia's Mitchell Starc stole the show with a fine first inning with a 6-wicket haul, and Cummins followed it with the second innings with a 5-wicket to bundle out India for 175 in the second innings on day 3. India's performance was far from what was seen in the first test. Both batting and bowling departments failed to put up a fight. The onus was on Rishabh Pant and Nitin Reddy. At the day of the third match to stitch together the partnership to give India a slight chance of mounting a comeback into the contest. But Stark managed to shut down all hopes after Stark got rid of Rishabh Pant in the first over of the day. Reddy looked to put up some fight with some of his aggressive strokes to get some quick runs, but Pat Cummins had Reddy missed out on his maiden test 50. Australia's batters made quick work of the chase with Usman Khwaja and Nathan McSweeney chasing down the target in under 4 overs to level the Border Gavaskar series. Well, Indian skipper Rohit Sharma, after the loss, said that it was a disappointing week for us and Australian side did play better than us. While talking about the victory in Perth, Sharma said that we wanted to do that again, but every test match has its own challenges. This match in Oval was perhaps the shortest test match between India and Australia in terms of balls bowled. Both teams will now shift their focus to the third test that is set to take place at the Gabba. India has a lot to look at going into the next game, as not to forget with the World Test Championship final at stake, India will be keen on bouncing back with a win. With this defeat, India's point percentage has reduced since their win in Perth is in the first test, pushing them below South Africa and Australia, who have retained the top spot in the World Cup Championship standings. India cannot afford another loss in their remaining 3 games to reach the WTC finals on their own terms. With 3 wins in Australia, India can at best finish with 146 points at a point percentage of 64.03%. Well, if your battery is running low, beware. Juicing up your electronic devices at free USB port charging stations might have unfortunate consequences. You could become a victim of juice jacking, yet another cyber theft tactic. The Reserve Bank of India has issued a cautionary message to mobile phone users advising them against charging their devices using public ports. This warning comes amidst growing concerns over the security risks posed by cyber attack known as juice jacking. Juice jacking is a form of cyber attack where hackers tamper with USB ports in public, infecting them with malware or making hardware changes that allows them to steal data from devices connected to them. This type of attack is of growing concern, with incidents reported in various public spaces such as airports, hotels and shopping centers. RBI emphasized the importance of protecting personal and financial data while using mobile devices. Charging your phones using public ports or conducting financial transactions over public Wi-Fi networks can expose your data to potential threats. Additionally, using a virtual private network and ensuring that devices have latest security updates installed can mitigate the risk of cyber attacks. The RBI's warning serves as a reminder for mobile users to be cautious about their cybersecurity practices and take necessary precautions to protect their personal and financial information and potential threats. Well, moving on, migrants' arrivals to Spain's Canary Islands are surging to record highs, driven by dangerous journey from West Africa. But while these crossings increase, a far more tragic trend is unfolding. The rate of migrants reported missing or dead on these perilous voyages is climbing 5 times higher than arrivals. Here's a report.
This cemetery on Spain's tiny island of El Hierro is home to many nameless plots. Inside lie migrants, often unidentified, their anxious families back home unaware of their passing. Arrivals to the Canary Islands from West Africa are running at all-time highs. The Red Cross says more than 42,000 migrants have reached the archipelago so far this year. Around half of those have landed here, on the shores of El Hierro, an island with a population of 11,400. But the rate of those going missing or dying on the treacherous Atlantic crossing is growing 5 times faster than those making it alive, the latest available data shows. This funeral is for Bathy Berry. He was identified as Senegalese by a survivor from his boat who said he was a relative. The farewell is small, quick, and painfully silent. None of those who traveled with him and survived can attend. They are in police custody or in hospital.
It is not just a matter of faith or religion, it is much more than that.
Heridian Marichal is a volunteer mourner. She also tries to help connect unidentified missing migrants with their families.
It is about humanizing, about bringing people closer and giving a voice to all those who can no longer defend themselves.
Berry's resting place in El Pinar Cemetery shows the scale of the crisis. Here, migrants occupy more than 30 slots in burial walls, and as their numbers grow and space runs out, the cemetery has requested an extension. These mourners are saying goodbye to 9 people who died during the Canary's worst shipwreck on record. In September, 27 migrants were found alive when a boat capsized. Spain's Coast Guard said there had been 84 on board. 9 people were buried in El Hierro. The rest are believed to have sunk into the ocean. A local judge is investigating what happened. At the time, there were only 2 cadaver refrigerators on El Hierro. 7 corpses had to be placed in a room normally used for wakes, which could be cooled close to 0 degrees Celsius. Modesto Martinez, the island's only forensic pathologist, examined the bodies.
Deshidratación, hipotermia.
Dehydration, hypothermia, that is the main cause of death for all of them.
Hoping to retire, Martinez moved to El Hierro from nearby Tenerife in 2022, when only 1 migrant had arrived dead on the southernmost Canary Island. A year later, official data showed there were 11 deaths, and so far in 2024, 33 people have arrived dead or died shortly afterwards. Last month, the regional government installed 6 new refrigerators in the island's port. But processing the corpses isn't the only challenge. Confirming the identities of the dead can take months. Most migrants throw their ID cards overboard, a Spanish security source told Reuters. Unidentified, they believe it will be harder for authorities to prove their country of origin and send them back. Martinez says for over 90% of migrant deaths, no match is found. It's too complicated to trace relatives, he says, or secure DNA samples from Africa. Migrant arrivals to the archipelago rose 12% between January and October this year, according to Spain's Interior Ministry. The International Organization for Migration, or IOM, says the estimated number of dead or disappeared was up 61% in that time. All this as overall irregular arrivals to Europe have declined. Andrea Garcia Borja works for the IOM's Missing Migrants program. She says boats have been coming from further away in West Africa, and smugglers are packing up to 300 people onto each open-topped vessel. Identifying the bodies, she says, is complex.
Because it involves crossing often more than one international border or disappearing in international waters, for example, and it makes it extremely difficult for the families of the missing who are usually not in the country.
An Interior Ministry spokesperson told Reuters Spain has no official database on dead migrants. It only counts those arriving alive. In 2021, the IOM said the specific procedures needed to search for and identify missing or dead migrants didn't exist in Spain. It called for a centralized mechanism to be created. Spain's Justice Ministry did not respond to questions on whether it had implemented the recommendations. The Interior Ministry said Spain's justice system and civil guard police investigate migrant deaths at sea if there is evidence of corpses missing, but declined to elaborate. Despite the difficulties, Marichal says she will continue her mission to connect missing migrants with their loved ones.
We are always dealing with a puzzle. We are always relying on someone's testimony. We are always depending on dates. We are always depending, perhaps, on that last call or that last message someone might have sent from a boat.